And I'm sitting here watching another video called Why So Many Men Are Giving Up on Dating. But I think they're failing the complete point, and that is what's important to women, not looks, money, status. The question to ask is, why is looks, money, status important to them? And the bottom line is they're looking for security for their children, which is what happens when you have sex. You know, in a woman's mind, she has to consider that. She has to consider that. Men don't seem to consider that. Men seem to think that women think like they do, and that is they just want to have sex for the fun of having sex. Because men do not have a womb, and men do not have to consider that they will probably, at the very least possibly, get pregnant if they have sex one time. You know, that's the question that is being completely missed. Looks, money, status is important to a woman. Why? Because she might get pregnant, and especially if she has a son, but also if she has a daughter or daughters or sons. But the first son is going to replace you as her primary love. And that has to do with a lot of things. For one thing, her kids are completely dependent on her, so she has to be responsible enough to look after them. That's why looks, money, status is important to her, because she needs you to help her provide for her and the children, her as life support for the children. And additionally, she's their first teacher, until they start school. So she wants to stay home with the children, which means she needs you to be the complete and total provider of whatever finances will afford. That's the whole issue. Men becoming disenchanted with dating. The deeper question is men becoming disenchanted with having a family, having children, being with a woman who wants children. I mean, the next question to ask is, with 8 billion people on the planet, 10 billion predicted by 2050, and we'll probably reach that sooner than that. Why do we need more children on the planet? None of us asked to be here. We are all God's children, if you will. None of us put in a request to be born. Souls are created by virtue of X and Y chromosomes. The bottom line question is not men becoming disenchanted with dating. I suppose a man thinks of dating as just sexual energy. I'll speak for myself. The bottom line reason I'm disenchanted with dating is I'm disenchanted with having a family. I don't have any kids, and frankly, I don't want any kids. I see it as a trap, as slavery, as really nothing I want any part of. There's no need for recurring propagation. So many of my friends that don't have children, and I have many friends that don't have children, see it as a myth of self-propagation. My dad, for example, sees me as an extension of him, and by extension as an extension of his father. And I see myself as my own person, thank you very little. So we disagree about that. And that is yet another reason why I'll say my generation, but what I really mean is me. I mean, honestly, that's all I can speak for is myself. I don't have that sense of duty that my mother had anyway. I just don't have it. Maybe that's as a result of me being part of the 60s sexual revolution and all of that or something. Bottom line is, I see no benefit, frankly, in having a family. And my girlfriend of 15 years, she does not want to have children either. And I think all that's a function of the dysfunction of our families. She grew up in communist Vietnam, so that's a whole nother layer of stuff to unpack. She's one of 5. Her dad was a doctor. Her mother is real pretty, but there's Vietnamese concentration camps and all kinds of things to talk about. So she doesn't want any children. I don't want any children. And the benefit that I find in that is that I remain her top priority, because she doesn't have some son that she has fallen in love with to replace me with. And I'm thrilled for that. So I don't want to replace her with someone that is going to be a possibility with. I just saw a real pretty, probably early 20 something, if not late teen something, real pretty Korean girl cleaning out her condo unit that they just moved out of over the weekend. You know, she came down, it's an upstairs unit, to move her vehicle from where she was parked, which was not the deeded space, to what was the deeded space. And so I got to see her. She's really attractive, of course, and happened to open my drapes just in time to see her walking down the stairs. And my first thought was, wow, what a pretty young lady. And, you know, would I be interested in going over there to meet her and blah, blah, blah. And then followed by the thoughts of, number one, I don't want to scare her because, of course, if I were to go over there and go up the stairs and knock on the door and introduce myself, she would be wary. I mean, she's in there working. And number two, I'm thinking, where is that going to go? What's going to happen? Okay, let's say she accepts my advances and we make love. Then she's going to get pregnant. And so what was, 10 to 20 minutes of whoopee is a lifetime of commitment that may or may not be pleasant and pleasurable. One thing it's definitely going to be is expensive for the rest of my life. There are all the school years, then there are the college years, and then there are the get married years, paying for a wedding, new business, blah, blah, blah. Then they're going to need and want money for their children, my grandchildren, on and on. So 10 to 20 minutes of whoopee results in a lifetime of that. And that's how I thought when I was a teenager. Actually, when I looked at a woman, I immediately thought of the liability, the responsibility, all of that stuff. So I passed, and I'm still passing. And no, thank you. No, I'm thrilled to have found Hung, who wants to, she's Catholic and she's a woman, so she wants to be a caregiver. And I'm just thrilled that she has chosen me as her project to take care of. So I, of course, am thrilled to reciprocate and take care of her. Her dream is she wants to bring her two sisters to the United States of America. I'd be thrilled to support her in that, even pay for that. A woman is, in my mind, is kind of the age-old story of the female hitchhiker out on the road with her shorts pulled up and looking as sexy as she possibly can. And when a ride pulls over to pick her up, out jumps her entire family and the brothers and all of that out of the bushes, and they all jump in the car too. And that's how it is. So a woman uses her prettiness and her sexuality to get the family paid for. So her ulterior motive is to get you to help pay for the people in her life, her family, that you don't necessarily want to get involved with. So she's using her sexuality to get her family paid for, turning a trick, if you will. Men who are the sons of mothers, we are the way we are because our mothers spoiled us. So what she wants to do is get pregnant by you and then replace you with her kid to spoil, and the cycle continues. And I don't want to continue that cycle. So no, thank you. No kids for me, thank you. I don't want to populate Mars or the moon. Northern California is too cold for me. I hear that Southern California is cold for Floridians. Florida is too flat for me, coming from the Shenandoah Valley and the Appalachian Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains and all of that. So I love the mountains. Florida's flat. Not only that, it never rains in California, or Southern California anyway, so we don't have really many mosquitoes. I don't appreciate getting sucked on by a blood-sucking mosquito, leaving an itchy bump. Don't appreciate it. And Florida is full of mosquitoes and alligators. No thanks. San Diego, we get, 4.0 Richter scale earthquakes, and that's about it. The serious stuff happens up north. San Diego is great. I'll stay put right here. Certainly there are other things in Southern California to be wary of and to watch out for. Another byproduct of the fact that it doesn't rain hardly much here is wildfires. That's something to watch out for. That we do get in San Diego. Absolutely. Got to be careful with that as well. And that is not up to me to determine. Certainly, we have plenty of arsons lurking about. There are also all kinds of things. Lightning strikes, smokers, of course. All kinds of things cause wildfires in this tinderbox that we live in. You know, if we have a rainy winter season, then all of that foliage that grows dies and falls and becomes fuel for wildfires in the hot summertime. The bottom line problem with planet Earth that causes its demise is and are people. Let's stop creating people, and that's how we solve the problem, okay? It's funny, I saw it was a hat actually that said artificially intelligent. And that is certainly all of us, definitely me. Frankly, I am all for artificial intelligence. We biological humans are problematic, sickly, weak by nature, can't handle a little radiation, you know, all that stuff. So if we're gonna populate Mars and the rest of the universe, we're going to need electronic, artificially intelligent beings. So I just see it as a natural form of evolution. You know, we, the humans, are going to create artificial intelligence in our own image. The cycle does continue. And like I say, I'm all for it. So anyway, just stuff to think about. I just think way too much about all this nonsense. I guess it's better than not thinking. At least I'm not brain dead. So anyway, hasta mañana. Catch you later. Bye.